Good afternoon, or is a mild, grey and overcast day. It is March the 12th, a Sunday, and I've got a nice hot cup of tea. And a package to continue unboxing. So pulling this out, I have already unboxed this gold package, which has the roleplay game Sacrifice in there. It's an OSR roleplay game. Came with its own stick of incense, which I grant you is a little odd, but there we go. What I've also got in here is a couple of things, and these are all come from LFOSR, so they're all OSR, old school Renaissance style titles. So the next thing I'm going to pull out of here, just trying to not lose the content, is a little thing called Last Tea Shop, a journal game for one or two players, one or two people. You run a tea shop on the border of the living and the dead. The recently deceased visit for one last hot drink before their long journey into the great beyond. Time is strange here. Days and memories blur. Nobody visited yesterday. You are sure of that. Someone passed last week, but you can't recall their face. The fog thins. A figure approaches. You stoke the fire. Last Tea Shop is a game about tea and storytelling. Set up your stall and wait for visitors to emerge from the mist. Over cups of tea, talk to the visitors about their lives and help them prepare to travel into the lands of the dead. Record their thoughts, fears, dreams and hopes in your journal for posterity. Conversations reveal links between visitors. So, the rules in this book describe solo play. Variations of a two-player version appear on the back page. So, what this game requires is quiet time, a way to take notes, a six-sided die, tea, optional but recommended, mandatory. Let's go with, if you're playing a game about tea, it's mandatory. So essentially, you're upset. What you've got in here is you're going through the game overview. Is you set up your tea shop, describe where it's located, and then decide upon things about its affinities and what supplies you've got in the pantry, and which path do visitors follow to reach the shop. And the game is played over several rounds. And you've got things like number of days passing, weather, preparing tea, ask questions, serve tea, and ask the last question. So here we've got the tables for that. We've got a guide here. Essentially, this is the overview there. Essentially, this is the table here. If you're going to roll on that, go, where is the tea shop? What the local ingredients are. So it might be it's on the edge of somewhere, at the end of a lakeside jetty, and the local ingredients are shaggy moss, for example, or mountain daisy. So you've got these tables. This is giving your tea shop its character, if you will. And then you're writing up things like examples. My tea stall is beside the mouth of a vast cave. Its stone walls are lined with quartz. On cool mornings, I harvest dew from the cavern's crystals for use in my teas. We've got a table of affinities. So you have special connection to certain aspects of reality. Sometimes these affinities are physically present in the tea shop. Others relate to atmospherical, astronomical phenomena. So choose one of the groups below and roll. So it might be creatures, objects, phenomena, temporality, weave, elements. So elements might be shadows or dust, creatures, lizards or beetles, phenomena, mist, wind, sunbeams. Temporality is essentially things that that might be around essentially in the moment and then gone. So seeds, lost objects, echoes, things like that. And then we've got tea supplies and recipes, which you roll for. So different types of teas, each with a new taste and effect. So you might brew gumpot, you can brew gumboot tea anytime. Others require special ingredients. And so you've got the common ingredients and then the rare ingredients below there. And then we have recipes. So gumboot tea, warms the soul, no special ingredients required. Comforting brew, create a safe space. Ease what ails you, dried sage, sea salt or chamomile. Some of these are easier to find than others. Draft a record, summon last visitor back to the tea shop. Fold them into the rest of the scene, snowdrop petals or beard lichen. And then we have a sample sort of like illustration of where your tea shop or store might be. And again, it's the cave described over the page. Back here, this section here. I mean, this only runs to 14 pages. And then over here we have the dice trail and lantern poles. Actually, these are presumably for creating the lost souls coming to their final moment in this realm before they pass on to the next. And then essentially the dice trail and lantern path. Which do you prefer? This is how your first visitor travels to the shop. And then days of visitors. You are rolling for the number of days which pass between visitors, and then essentially the gifts and effects that are granted through your interaction with these souls, these visitors. And then we have weather and tea. So this is what it's like when they arrive. As you look outside the window, and then we have the question ritual. As I prepare the tea, there is time to ask the visitor a question. Choose a question prompt for the facing page. Serve tea. When the tea is finished, bid your visitor farewell. And then in your journal, you record their state as they leave. And you're doing this sort of like over and over again with the different visitors. And when the game ends, when you reach sort of like 24 days pass or so, the veiled one arrives. So you should essentially have a journal of roughly 3 weeks, a little more than 3 weeks, and you have here's the list of question prompts. So what was the last thing you remember? Where did you live? What are you proud of? Or what do you regret? And so on. You sacrificed something? What did you give up? And the like. And then we have essentially hidden paths, and these are sort of like interesting NPCs and interesting passing souls that visitors that are a bit more than the average person, average person coming to your tea shop. We've got a hedge witch, an astronomer, a sorceress. I'm going to show you those, but you're not meant to look at these until they actually arrive. These are special encounters. You do have. So your dice tray, you've got gambler, messenger, innkeeper, guide, merchant, hedge witch, astronomer, and so on, sorceress. They are the special encounters rolled for on the dice trail and lantern path tables. And after that, you have rules for a two-player variant. But here, so instead of you writing it out as a journal, as you would with other journaling games, like 1000 Year Vampire, it becomes a conversation between two persons. One person is the shop owner, the other person plays the visitors, and this gives you quite an option, sort of a bit some role play between the two players. And then we've got a bit of a bibliography for inspiration there. And apart from that, what you also have is actually a sheet designed for for play. So this is the last tea shop store sheet. So you have store description, shop description, game overview, place tea supplies and so on, and then the journal locations there. And you've got a couple of these, in fact, so you could play this a couple of times. And they're double-sided as well, so I was going to show you that. You've actually got a couple of these, and they're double-sided. So, yeah, this... So that sort of gives you the means to sort of play this out 4 times using these sheets, but you don't have to. It's easy to record in a notebook, and a journal, and that, you know. So that's a nicely complete kind of contemplative role-playing game, and that tends to be what a lot of journal games are like. They, you know, they are all about the time to think about what you're going to write, and then putting it down in the journal so you've got something you can read back, and consider what you've explored during the course of the play. So that's the last tea shop. See if I can find it. Is it's by Spring Villager, and I will put a link to where you can find this in the in the links below. Anyway, thanks for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you've enjoyed it, please click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a package containing a book or game, or in this case a little journaling game, which I will unbox and then chat about to the best extent of my knowledge, all of course accompanied by my own nice hot cup of tea, then please do hit the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. I'll be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.